Alright, hello. So, I want to make some more coffee. Cough's still here. What can I do? I've got my mug. I've got my kettle. It has just boiled. I made some tea for the missus. But, enough water in there. You know, good Harrogate spring water still. My scales. My grinder over here. We're going to make a V60 again. So the filter papers and the actual V60 thing. This needs a rinse. So I'll be back in 1 second. We'll go rinse this. Alright, back. Nice and clean now. Put it back over here. Coffee selection. So as we know, yesterday I made some of the Mirror Flores that's in my little caddy. Still smells wonderful. Was a really nice, sweet, balanced cup of coffee. Back, right. Where was I? Yeah. So really nice, sweet cup, and I had it with my tea actually, which is rare, but throat on. So I'm not going to have that today. I'm looking at my Whittard's coffee here. We've got some light roast, some dark roast, some kind of dark, medium dark, and then we got what's called light roast. Yeah, we got light roast here. So I'm going to get cherry flavours from this one as well. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've been looking at this Ethiopian single origin, but I'm not sure. Should we try this coffee from Union? Roasted on the 20th, or should we try the Whittard's coffee? I'm looking at a light roast again. Either the Ethiopian Yirgacheffe, I won't say it says Yirgacheffe, or the Bobo Link from Brazil. You know what, we're going to go with the light roast Ethiopian. I think the light roast Ethiopian is going to be our best bet, personally. It says this is a light roast. It was roast packet. It says packed on the 20. It doesn't necessarily say roasted, but I assume these are all roasted to demand because of the bags they're in. It might not be, but it's good coffee nonetheless. Ooh, that is some funky smelling coffee. So light roast will generally be funkier, but that is definitely got some funk going on. Well, let's just begin. On, please, right? 15 grams. We want into 15 grams. So, tear 15 grams in. $15 exactly. Look at me, genius. 15 exactly in. Let's close up the bag for this. I don't know if these bags have valves on. They might do. They might just be very hidden in the bottom. No, they might not have valves. This is closed. What do they do? It's fine. They're resealables. That's all that matters. So 15 grams. As you can see, standard coffee. Give it a couple sprays to reduce the static. And then it should be set on the same setting as yesterday. Got a light roast, which is 12 on this machine. I'll get that back on. Let it grind. While that's grinding, we're going to prep our filters. Yeah, that's done. So before we do anything with that. Let's open up the filter paper. In we go. With our water that is hot. It's not boiling, but it's hot. We're just going to give the filter paper a little rinse. Oh. Into the glass there. Press 10. Right, let's get our coffee. Give it a shake for distribution purposes. Okay, so it's a bit less funky than the beans, but still. It smells nice, man. It smells nice. So, no complaints. Should make a nice cup. Let's pop the kettle on a quick reboil. Let's add it into the V60. Okay. I've cleaned up. Not great, that. Flatten the bed. So, what happened? Dosing the coffee. Went to go pick it up to do what I just did and flatten the bed, and knocked it all over the floor myself. Which is annoying because this isn't cheap coffee, this stuff from Whittards. This is 125 grams. It costs about £4 or £5 a bag for that small amount. 250 grams is about 11 quid, 10, 11 quid. So you know, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Now I'm gonna make our crater in the middle. No, I reground 15 grams. But it's annoying doing the cleanup and everything. But let us forget. Let's move on. It's not the biggest. It's not the biggest end of the world. Coffee's been reground. We have the V60, and we're going to brew ourselves a cup. What we're going to do, we're going to brew ourselves a nice, tasty cup. Straight from the boil. 15 grams, as we said yesterday, around 60 gram bloom. Let's do this. Start. Come on. Got 60 gram bloom. Perfect. And then, oh, you can see the bloom properly up in good swirl. Big swirl. Big, huge swirl. Right, and we're going to let that bloom. That is a nice looking bloom. It smells really good. So about a minute, and then as you know, we're going to add up to about 180. Wait. Give it a stir. Then wait. Another minute, and then add the last bit, up to 260, and give it a massive swirl for about 15 seconds. Same thing I did yesterday, but this time with this Ethiopian Yirgacheffe single origin coffee. Is that a channel? It looks like that could be a bit of a channel. Not the end of the world, mind. Right. Let us add slowly in a circular motion the rest of our water. Water up until about 180, like that. I'm going to get a spoon. Give that a quick stir in that direction and a quick stir in that direction, but no swirl at this point. Then we're going to let that chill to about 2 minutes 20, 2 minutes 30, probably up to 20 on this one. And then we're going to add the rest of our water and then big swirl. So, you know, we should be looking again at a nice, sweet and balanced cup. Obviously much different coffee from the Colombian Miraflores we had yesterday. So 2 minutes 10. Ethiopian coffee tends, from what I know, to be relatively fruity and floral and not very coffee-esque. So let us add the water to 265. Oh, we're going to 270 there. Fine, and then big swirls. Hefty swirls. Big swirls, big swirls, big swirls. Now, unfortunately, what we've seen with this one, which we didn't see with the one yesterday, which is strange, is a lot of coffee has actually been caught at the edges around here. Which is strange. This didn't happen yesterday with the same technique. This didn't happen. And this is why to me the V60 will never be pour over like this. Will never be the perfect way to brew. It is just too fiddly to make consistent brews out of. Even somebody who has their technique down to a T will make slightly different brews every time with the same coffee. With something like a cafetiere, right, or the even the AeroPress, right, you have infusion here. Your coffee goes in, whatever amount you want. You add your water, whatever ratio you're adding, and then it chills. There is very little technique here, and you're able to get a very consistent brew. Now, this bed, we'll end now. I'm going to show you this. This bed that we have here, right, it's very muddy, and it's also slightly concaved. Don't know if you can see that. It's a very muddy bed because it looks a bit like mud, and you can see that all the coffee on the outside. Didn't have this yesterday, so this is definitely going to be a different cup. I'm going to also probably say a worse cup than yesterday. What that bed shows me as well is we probably need to grind a bit coarser for this coffee. Yesterday's bed was not that muddy, so that means we probably want to pop this up a tick, maybe even two, probably just one, see what happens, then maybe do it again. If we were making V60 with this constantly, and that will also tie into this stuff around the side, all the retention. So get our little package in the bin. You can sit over here again till I need to rinse it. Now we have a cup. I'm going to stir just the cup. You're going to come with me and you'll see a world of imagination. as we sit down with a cup of coffee that we've just made. You have the Ethiopian Coffee beans. Now it smells good. I'll say that, it smells good. It doesn't smell sour, it doesn't smell bitter, it doesn't smell bland or hollow. Now I do have a plugged nose because I'm a little bit ill. Not massively ill, I'm recovering, but a little bit. Now, this smells alright. There's not a load of aroma coming from it. Filter coffee isn't always the most complex. To get out all the flavours, you're going to want to probably do a rich infusion brew, cup, like a cupping, and then also espresso to get the more intense flavours. One thing I see with this coffee that I did see with yesterday's, I don't know what it's called, but kind of the suspended stuff in the coffee. I don't know if you can see it. The likelihood is no, you might be able to see it a bit. I'll hold it there. You probably can't see it, but like all the little white bits. I don't know what it is, but I was going to say the suspended material in the coffee. That is much more prevalent in this one than it was in the one I made yesterday. Definitely a lighter cup. Definitely a lighter cup. Sweet still. This is very hot though, so I'm not going to get the full flavour, but ooh, yeah. No, most certainly. This is a much more acidic cup. A much more acidic brew. Now that's not the technique. As I said, the same technique as yesterday. Needs probably some grind size adjustment. But same technique as yesterday, which gave us a nice, sweet, slightly chocolatey, almost caramelly cup with very little acidity from the Miraflora's Colombian coffee. Now Colombian coffee generally is quite chocolatey. I've noticed generally a Colombian coffee is low acidity, and the acidity it does has tends to be berries, and very light and quite sweet. This is, it has chocolate, still a little bit of chocolate, has none of those kind of caramelly tones, that kind of nice, thick, syrupy sweetness that I got with the Colombian coffee yesterday, or other Colombian coffees I've had, or other coffees I've had in general. This is giving me much more of a kind of a milk, kind of a dark kind of milky chocolate, like a dark chocolate but on the lower end, but also very high acidity. You're gonna have to go in for another sip. Yeah. Now it says on the bag pomegranate. I've not had pomegranates in years. But they're like the little seed things, the big little seeds that you like eat and spit out. They're like little fruit seeds. This does taste kind of fruity. It does have this really fruity, this fruit acidity. That isn't berries or stone fruit or anything that simple. It is a relatively complex acidity. When I'm drinking it hot, like that, just having a sip, you don't really get it. When I'm slurping, obviously, and I'm bringing all the flavours through my tongue, oxidising the coffee and cooling it down at the same time, which is really key. I mean, there's a lot more of that acidity in the flavour. And it is nice. It is a nice cup of coffee. Honestly, a lot better than I expected, given how the bed looked. It's probably a little under extracted, I can say that because I think I would be getting more acidity even at this heat. You know, when the coffee is still very hot. I think maybe if kind of a slightly higher grind size, a coarser grind size, and maybe a bit less agitation for this coffee in particular, just to allow better extraction through the bed and less coffee getting stuck to the side of the walls, which I think has something to do with the grind size. You might get more acidity in the cup, and you know, it might open up. But there really is this really nice, kind of sharp almost acidity mixed with kind of this more dull, darkish chocolate flavour. Very little bitterness, and what bitterness there is offset by that high acidity. A very nice coffee, a very, very nice coffee. Definitely, when brewed this way, I imagine if I brewed this in an infusion brew, cafetiere, or an AeroPress, I would probably get a slightly sweeter cup, a less acidic cup, because generally that's what you get, but also more full-bodied cup, a richer cup. Those richer, darker flavours will probably come out more, and more subtle acidic flavours will get buried more. I imagine espresso would be very intense, quite almost sour-ish with this. Not like sour, like bad sour espresso, but like a acidic twist. But it's nice. It's what you want for an Ethiopian coffee is this really nice acidity mixed with the words mixed with. Why can't I think of the word? Mixed with the darker chocolatey flavours, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink this coffee, and I'm actually going to smoke a small part of this cigar. I'm going to make a separate video of me smoking the cigar. Thank you very much.